I grew up as an only child, so that allowed me to be a very creative person. Interestingly, I've become an emotional person, probably more emotional than people would think I am. I've often been described as sometimes hard to read. My close friends, they've labeled me as Uncle, Brother, Cousin, Rod. Because I vacillate between those. Sometimes I'm the uncle, sometimes I'm the fun cousin, sometimes I'm the brother trying to tell everybody what to do, and then I'm just Rod, and when I'm just Rod, I'm very relaxed and cool. So I was born in Detroit. I was there until I was 15 years old, and at 15 and like a few months, we moved to Atlanta, and I've been here ever since. I was diagnosed with HIV August the 24th, 2005. That's a date that is ingrained in my brain. I just so happened to be diagnosed only because I decided I wanted to go back to school and I needed some updated immunizations, and they offered an HIV test while I was there, and I figured why not. And that's when I found out about my diagnosis. I remember when I moved out the house at 19. My mother found out that I was gay, and she was like, hey, you're not gonna do that here, so either you're gonna get it together or you're gonna get out. And I decided to get out. And right before I left, the one thing she said was, just don't come back with AIDS. And when I got my diagnosis, that was the first thing that popped into my head. It's like, oh my gosh, she was right. And at that point, I just felt like my life was over. I thought about kids, and I'd always wanted to have kids, and I thought, wow, I'll never be able to have kids now. And who's gonna want to love somebody with HIV? I felt like I was at that point just like a dented can, just forever ingrained with this thing, and that I'm always gonna be seen as someone who, at the time, the mentality was just somebody who was just out here doing any and everything. Being diagnosed with HIV helped me kind of find a path. I have been able to take my status and almost wear it as a badge. It's a part of me. It's something that I will always have for the rest of my life. But it's also something that I know, compared to that day that I got diagnosed, I know that everything that I thought about my life and I thought about how my life would go having HIV didn't go that way. So I think my story is just one of many. It's like looking through a magazine and you're seeing all different types of ads, and one ad may look different from the other, but they all tell a very similar story. And so I feel like while mine is one of many, it still tells a story of triumph. It still tells a story, a collective story of a celebration. And so I think that is how my story will add to the collective, as well as those not newly diagnosed. It is not the death sentence that it once was. While there is still stigma behind people living with HIV, it's every day it's changing. There are more people who are becoming more comfortable talking about people living with HIV. There are more people comfortable, having discussions and just getting rid of some of the old thought and things that happen. So, you're gonna be okay. Whether you know it or not. I know it doesn't feel that way right now, but you'll have that moment like this where you'll look back and here I'm almost 20 years in and looking back and saying, wow, I came a long way. And so, yes, that would be my message to them.